Welcome to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. So today we get very random. We ask ourselves random Q&A questions, and the team would like to learn and know how is it that we go about daily guest bookings, and how is it that we go about Airbnb consultation and managing. A whole random questions. Stay tuned. I'm sure you'll get to learn something. Cheers. January is actually peak season. Mid-February to March would be more like low season, either on a weekend or in between the calendar. The prices could, yes, I would still choose Airbnb a whole day. If you're connecting with also very young people, we get a lot of Gen Z. We get a lot of Gen Z guests, and in my very honest opinion, group that I have run, that is the rest of the people, and then you cannot go knocking or hawking in other people's even booths sometimes to just increase visibility of these rates, whether they are hourly rates or unit money. Listing attracts customers, yes. A lot of our clients are actually on us. That's what so yeah. And they have specific things, more or less we need what the guest would want. We follow the guest lead, and we talk about that in our listings all the time, and follow the guest lead.
Also, Ann, hi.
Yeah, hi.
What is the best time to book an Airbnb for the lowest price?
For the lowest, the best time to book an Airbnb for the lowest price, I think for me, I would go in February and March, as opposed to what a lot of people think. January is actually peak season. We have guests who go, who book all the way from December into January until mid-January. So a lot of people would assume that January is a low season, but in actual essence, it's actually peak season, very peak season. The same prices you would set up for December would be the same prices you would set up for January, all the way until, say, 20th of January. Summer would still be extending for a lot of people who are coming from UK, from US, who are coming to for summer in Kenya or in Africa. So they would want to enjoy the beaches, the hot weather, and that would be a really peak season. Sometimes it extends all the way to February. So I would say mid-February to March would be more like low season, and you're likely to get a house at a more affordable rate. That's what I would say. Because again, as March ends and it gets to April, then the season again begins to change, because we have local tourists who look at April as a holiday month. So a lot of students have are on holiday. So again, they would want to travel during April season. So they would travel out and they would go to Mombasa, Nyali, Diani. They would go to different places around the country. So again, that would be a peak season for this for the industry. So February, mid-February all the way to March. There's another low season around July, okay, but as it extends to August, then again the season picks up, and it picks up all the way till December. Yeah, so I think if you would want to go for low prices, then that would be the time. But then again, depending on different holidays within the year, there's what we call price optimization. So this is when based on a holiday that is coming either on a weekend or in between the calendar, the prices could shoot up. So it could be February, but 14th February is Valentine's, right? So 14th February is we are more likely to shoot the prices higher from 10th to between 10th to 16th, so that we raise the prices so that we are able to book at a more steady price So that would be not so advantageous to you, but advantageous to the industry. Yeah, yeah. So again, as it gets to another holiday, so maybe April Fools and maybe a holiday that is mixed with a weekend, so the prices could be optimized to suit the industry as opposed to suiting the guests. But a lot of guests don't really look at that, because that would be a favorable time for them to travel. So still, it's a win-win. Let's just say it's a win-win. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you were to start all over again, would you still choose Austin?
Austin, how?
BNB Austin.
Or BNB hosting?
Yes.
Yes, I would still choose Airbnb hosting. I would probably be slightly wiser, because now I would probably go for units that are more executive, because it's the niche that I am looking at right now. Executive furnished units, as opposed to just regular stays. That is where the money is. That is where the pattern is leading us in terms of tourism. If you look at those units that are just homes or houses right now are struggling to even get normal bookings, because where the industry is taking us, a lot of people would rather save and go for a holiday that makes that is luxurious, that is going to cost them more, but is going to be worth the lifestyle that they're looking at. So I am leaning more towards luxurious furnished apartments, luxury furnished apartments, beachfront houses. And so I think if I was to do this over again, I would be more wise and more bright. Even the units that we are setting up right now, if you look at the units we are setting up now, there'll be luxury homes, yeah, as opposed to just regular homes with a bed and a kitchen in the balcony. People want to experience something that is extra, and they would rather save and take time, but book something that is more accommodative.
Oh, that one drives me to another question. What do you wish you learned earlier?
What do I wish I learned earlier?
Yeah.
I think systems and regulations. If I had learned earlier that I would need to regulate systems, I need to set up, I need to speak to the landlords before I even set up the units. I need to look at the amenities of the place. I need to have a team earlier in place. These are some of the things that I would have done earlier without necessarily rushing. But I always say this: if I had not started from a point of just starting, if I had not started, then I would not have known the areas of correction. If I had not just set up my first unit in Langata, then I would probably not have known that there's Kilimani, for example. If I had not set up Kilimani, then I probably have not known there's Parklands, there's 4-bedroom. If I had not set up 1-bedroom, then I would probably have not known there's a standalone 5-bedroom units that's making more or earning more. Or this kind of setups, this kind of things come sometimes with experience. And that is why it's important to start from where your budget allows you to start. Yeah, because as the industry grows, then you get to have more risk appetite. And I think that is where we all are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and how can you tell if the neighborhood is safe? Yeah.
How can I tell if the neighborhood is safe?
Yes.
It's a good question. It's a very good question. You do what we call your due diligence. You do your due diligence, because a neighborhood is safe based on various aspects. Security around the area. Is it a gated community? Do you have smart access to the areas? For example, like where we are right now, we are shooting on Kindaruma Road. Okay. And the unit itself at the gate, you are not allowed to come in unless you know exactly where you're going. And even if you know exactly where you're going, you will need to have a specific access card that allows you to enter this building. Okay, so that for me is security number one. It is worth investing in that place because my clients will be secure and they will be able to stay for long term, a long period of time. Yeah. So access card, lock boxes. Where do I get the key? Because the where I'm getting the key should be private to that specific owner that is coming to that place, or that specific guest that is booking for that particular period. Okay. So you give your guests a lockbox password or a smart access key or a smart access password, so to allow them to safely get into the unit. So, and we generate that code for every guest that is coming in. Another security measure could be maybe gated community fence, powered fences and all those things. Yeah. Again, how to access the place is also part of security, because maybe is it Uber? Can they access it using Uber? Can they take all these things that you can put in place? There are many ways you can assess the security of a particular region. Yes, and I think I work closely with management to ensure that security is top. Yeah, and I think that's a good thing to ask. Yeah.
Oh, do you have rules for the units and EBS? Do guests really follow them?
Rules, yeah. Oh my God. Every particular unit has its own rules and regulations. So this specific place that we are in on Kinaruma Road has its own rules. And rules can be generalized, and they can also be very specific. One of the general rules that we have is no parties allowed in our units. It could be a game changer for some people. It might not be a positive thing, all right? But it's just our rules, because most of the houses are in apartments and they are residential units. We do not want to have complaints of noise, people coming in to complain that our guests are making noise. So strictly no parties allowed in our units. We do, however, have standalone units that we manage, and parties would be allowed, because in a setup like a standalone unit, you'll find that the noise does not, there's like almost like noise cancellation, doesn't go to the next neighborhood. All right, so you're allowed to have 15-20 people in one area, and they can sing, dance, have their parties, bridal showers, bridal pickups, all these things in one particular unit. So that's one of the general rules. Another general rule would be switch off all the lightings or machineries or electronics before you check out. For obvious reasons. Yeah, we have people who use up, maybe they will use up the fridge, they will use the microwave, they will use the heaters for the showers, and if you don't give them a rule that they should switch them off, then the day you come for cleaning and people, you'll find a lot of power that has been used up. It's just common knowledge. So another basic rule will be, as you are checking out, leave the key where you found it. It could be in the lockbox, it could be with the security guards, depending on the house. So this is one of the general rules. Then you can narrow down to specific rules, and all these are usually in the check-in process. As I'm giving the check-in processes to the guests, these are some of the things that I give them. The other specific rules could be how to use the boiler, for example. There are houses that use the boiler for boiling water when you're going to shower. So you switch on the boiler for a certain minutes, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, allow the boiler to heat, and then go shower. So that is a rule. A guest would not just wake up and know how your boilers work. If you don't give them the rules to your place, they will not know. And these are some of the things that will make you get a lot of calls, you know, even in the middle of the night, because you're not very clear with the rules that you're setting. So how to use the boiler is one of the rules. You can tell them, as you're using the boiler, switch it on for 15 minutes, let it boil, and then go shower. Immediately after shower, you come and switch the boiler off. I think those are some of the rules that are very specific. Another thing could be rules like check-in and check-out. I have come across guests who normally say, if I booked a unit at 4 p.m., I should check out the next day at 4 p.m. I mean, you've come across that, yeah? Because it's a 24-hour time frame, but that's not the case. Most of the time, the checkout is very specific. Even in hotels, the checkout is very specific. So 4 p.m., you tell them that they need to check in anytime before maybe 12 noon, or anytime before 2 p.m., or 2 p.m., anytime after 2 p.m. because you see the guests can check out even at midnight, can check in even at midnight. But then when it comes to check out, it is 10 or 11 based on your rules. This gives you time to make sure the house is clean, the cleaner is on time, you've checked if there are any damages, anything that you need to seek reimbursement about, and then now they can, the next guests that are booking can check in seamlessly. So the rules are many, and it cuts across the different places. Houses like Nyali have rules like AC has to be paid separately.
Oh.
Yes, because of power consumption. Yeah, so you find that AC utilizes a lot of power. So if they don't add that rule that AC, you pay for AC separately at 1,500 per day or 2,000 per day based on different hosts, all right?
Yeah.
Then what happens? The guest stays for 1 week. Their AC is on 24/7, whether they check out or whether they go out to the beach or not. Their AC is left 24/7, and then in 1 week you have a bill of like 30,000.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So there are rules for such situations.
There are rules for such situations. So every house has its own rules. Yeah.
And also on to the next question. What separates a good Airbnb from a great Airbnb? So
A good Airbnb from a great Airbnb.
What separates?
Oh, you'll be shocked that what separates a good Airbnb from a great one is very simple things. It's not even the luxury that we talk about. That's just icing on the cake. What separates a good Airbnb from a great one is host communication. How fast do you respond to your guests when they seek clarifications? That sets them apart. Number 2, how is your check-in process? Is it seamless, or do they have to keep calling you every 2 minutes to ask, where did you say the key was? There's no key. Where did you say the shower is? There's no shower. There's no heated water. There's no towel. Where can I get extra towels? Where can I get slippers? Every single detail. And I've come across hosts who have no idea how to go about that. Okay, so a seamless check-in process will separate a good Airbnb host and a great one. Okay, because I could be booking a unit in Kitengela. It does not have to be luxurious. It does not have to be one of a kind house. Maybe I just want to lay my head and travel the next day. But do I have to keep calling you, or is it a self check-in process? Okay, and then is the place secure? The biggest discussion that guests have is how secure is the place? Is there parking? Common questions. You don't just wake up and set an Airbnb anywhere. Is the place secure? Do they have parking? All these things. So that and a lot of guests will ask, actually. They will ask, naeza weka gari ndani? Because it does not have to be on the street parking. Okay? But again, how you respond to these questions prior to their booking will make them consider, think about whether they are booking that place or not. So I think for me, it's not about the wow, the extra tissues you've put there, the bouquet of flowers, the wine. No. It is just how efficient is the place and how easy is it to access where I'm going. A lot of questions come, for example, on these different applications, like how far is it from Yaya Center? Yeah, just a general question, yeah? How far is the Airbnb from Yaya Center? And guests and hosts are not able to just approximate. How far is this Kindaroma house from Yaya Center? Check on the apps, go to directions, put your unit against the place where the guest is asking about, and estimate the price. I mean the location or the distance. Yeah, then you're able to respond to your guests and tell them it is a 5 minutes walk or it's a 5 minutes drive. Be very accurate. Don't lie because you want to get the booking. No, just be very accurate. And most of the time, your guests will actually book with you.
Okay.
So it's the simple things that count. And I'm sure there are many other reasons, but for me, that separates a good host and a great host.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
What does a normal day looks like in the hosting business?
Oh, I might have to take water. A normal day, let me tell you, it differs. Every day is different.
Depending on
the clients, depending on the unit you're booking. Every day is different, but there are things that are in common. A day would typically look like a guest has booked in and they've checked in, you've shared the details, most likely on WhatsApp or on the app that they're using, and they've checked in. For me, I automate all the processes. We make sure at Homes by Mwema, we automate all processes. So the seamless process of check-in is there. So the guests would check in. But another day would look like complaints. It would look like fights. Yeah. It would look like people hosted a party and you were not aware, and now you have to handle it as the manager. All right. So sometimes it would also involve security of the building, trying to make the situation come, because you'll realize that not all situations will force you to run. Otherwise, you'll be exhausted. If you want to run to every single building because a client is raising an alarm, then something is an issue, is a big miss. Yeah. So if you look at some of the videos that we've talked about use your resources as your mini managers. I have talked about that. Use your security as your mini manager. Use your cleaners as your mini managers, because they'll tell you what is happening on the ground. Madam, glass ilivunjika. Yeah. So you're able, that's a typical day. Like, I don't expect seamless processes in all the units 24/7. I will not be in the Airbnb business, neither will that be in any accommodation business. I expect challenges, but I also expect to mitigate the challenges. So if a glass is broken, the cleaner has informed you. Next step, engage the client, tell them photos are very important as evidence. I've come to realize there's a broken glass that has been reported by the cleaner. I'm sure you are aware, or maybe you are not aware. Yes, so most likely, based on your approach, your guests will accept that this is something that has happened, and they will accept to pay. So you give them the price to pay, or you decide to count your losses based on your client.
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes a typical day would not necessarily mean that you have to charge them for one single glass. This is your client for 1 month. based on how they are operating and how you've been respectfully talking to them, based on how the communication has been, 1 glass versus a 1 month pay, you don't feel the need to ask them to pay. But based on, again, on many other situations, sometimes you have to ask the client to pay. And the reason is very simple, is to ensure that the next guests who are coming in have utensils to use. They have plates to use, they have cups to use. Otherwise, if we pay for every single damage that is happening, then you might not get it. However, a seamless day could look like, for me, a seamless day would look like checking in different houses, seamless check-ins in different houses, Airbnb bookings, booking.com, any different platforms that we're using, website bookings that are coming in, different places, cleaners, ensuring that we don't get petty complaints. Hygiene problems have never been an issue to us, we don't get such things. So yeah, I guess it differs.
Okay, how do you handle a tough client or a stubborn client?
A tough client or a stubborn client?
Yeah.
We just take daily steps and we pray. We just take daily steps, baby steps, and then we just pray about it, because they are still our clients and all clients differ. So you could find a drunk client, for example. So just know that they're human and talk to them. If they're disturbing the neighbors, then they're probably breaking your rules in the first place. So you see what we normally call in our houses, we say tough love. Mama yako anakuonesha tough love.
Yeah.
So as a manager, you have to operate using tough love. I love you, you're my guest. I appreciate you for booking my unit, but you're causing a sin, or you're making me lose my reputation in the building, or the security is raising concerns, or you've broken my unit. So it's tough love. It's a lot of tough love. So you have to get to a point where you speak with affirmation, very affirmative language, but also very polite. Yes, so it's tough love. And sometimes if you're operating with also very young people, we get a lot of Gen Z. You relate, yeah?
Yeah,
we get a lot of Gen Z guests, and they are, in my very honest opinion, they're the most understanding group that I have ever met. Because, yeah, because as opposed to many situations, they sit and listen, and they know when they've made a mistake. They know when they've booked a unit and did not say it's a bash, and they're very apologetic. And most of the time, I don't know what happens. Maybe it's not their money. They would seek reimbursement, and they would comfortably wait to reimburse you or to pay for the damages that they've caused. And this has not happened once or twice. It's many times I have come across such situations. So I think it's tough love. I will just repeat that you have to exercise tough love. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the continuation of what Eve was asking, so guests should also, they have a right to know what they are not supposed to do.
Yes.
In the Airbnb. So will you please just state out what guests are not supposed to do in the Airbnb?
Okay, I think that's a very good question. You're making me actually think about what they are not supposed to do. But I think the first thing that we tell them is they are not supposed to affect other people staying in the unit. That's cuts across. Your neighbor, if it's a shared space, then your shared space neighbor, you know. We have houses like where you share common amenities, like the sitting room is shared, but the bedrooms are separate. We have houses like that. And then we have houses where we have common amenities like the pool, the sauna, the gym. Okay, so you need to respect common amenities, and follow the rules, because they are not inbound rules, they are management rules. How the pool is used, how the gym is used. You can't go and say, I have paid for this unit, now I need to use the gym. You have to follow the rules based on whoever you find there and how they're operating. So that's one of the things that we make sure we mention. Another thing is you cannot make noise because you've booked this unit. Like I said previously, we stay in most of the units are in residential apartments. So you have to take care of what your neighbors you have to have take care of basic things. Noise, you can't make noise and say, or put your music very high. That disturbs the rest of the people. And then you cannot go knocking or hawking in other people's apartments. That can easily have you checked out without any refund, because that is being a nuisance. That's actually getting in the way of other people who are trying to enjoy their space, whether it's residents or not. Okay, so you cannot go knocking. And I know of stories that have been going around about Airbnb and how certain people go with other intentions. They book your unit and then they go with other intentions of seeking other services, and then they go knocking on every single person's door. Yes, doing business or doing other things, and that is very, very annoying. These are the people that tarnish the Airbnb business, and that really makes it really, really weird to work with such people. So again, you have criteria that you use to ensure that these people are not booking with you, because your neighbors will not be okay working with you. So there are many things that you can, again, it also depends on your unit and how you operate. So the do's and don'ts differ from house to house.
I would love you to tell us about the marketing strategy. What marketing strategy do you use? The listing and the rest.
Okay, good question. So at Homes by Mwema, we first try to understand, because we have units we run as Homes by Mwema, our own units, and then we have units we manage on behalf of other people. So when it comes to marketing, we might split it into 2 or 3 ways. Number one would be the social media marketing. This is where we post the units on social media or shoot content on social media, and we get to advertise and even boost sometimes to just increase visibility of these units, whether they are our units or units we manage on behalf of other people. So there's always strength on social media, and I always emphasize on visibility on social media. Number 2, we have listing as a way of boosting visibility. Different platforms offer listings. It could be your website. It could be an app where you list to attract international bookers or local bookers. Local people who are looking to have units, okay? Now, when you list, that is already a form of marketing, because the algorithm works in a way to ensure that you get some sort of booking. Of course, there's the aspect of listing, optimizing it to make sure it attracts the bookings, and that's a whole different conversation. How do I ensure that it attracts? But it is a form of marketing, because automatically a guest will look at whatever photos you've put online, they will look at the description you've put online, and they will book or inquire about your unit and automatically book from the system without much effort. I would say without much effort. The effort only comes with the initial setup of that listing and how you do your daily optimization. Okay? Then there's website. Website is where you now have different listings from different people. like our website, and they get to go onto the website and book directly. What do we do with our website? We boost our visibility of our website, and we can work further into optimizing Google optimization, Google My Business, all these things that we work on. So I believe in this time and era where everything, we are now into AI, we are now into digitalization. If we don't get to upgrade our marketing strategies, then high likely we will not be visible and people will not get to book our units. So it is mandatory that when you book with us, we make sure that you're optimized or you're knowledgeable about all these ways that we're going to use to make sure that your units are visible.
Okay, so listing attracts customers.
Listing attracts customers, yes,
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
So what should you advise someone who is new in the business or who is opting to join the Airbnb hosting?
Anyone who's opting to join
Airbnb hosting or come up with a unit to monetize it?
I would say first thing I would advise them is seek clarification, consult, ask questions. Where do you want to list? What is your expectation regarding the market versus what does the market offer? Because your expectation might not be as realistic as what the market offers. And I have come across a lot of people who have very high expectations, but that is not what the market offers. Okay? And then your location will also determine your income. The size of a unit will also determine your income. And in my masterclass, I have, in one of the masterclasses that we did, I fully established and categorized different places versus how much income they can make. Different locations versus the income, different size of the units in different locations versus the income. Because that is the first thing you need to know as someone who wants to start the Airbnb business. That way, it dictates your budget. If you're working with a 500,000 budget, you need to know, where does my 500,000 apply? Is it in Kilimani? And what size of units will it give me? Or is it in Syokimau? And what size of unit will it give me? Again, how much income will it give me in Syokimau versus how much income will it give me in Kilimani? Okay? So some of these details are very important. Hence, people have to start with consultation. After consultation, then you discuss everything and then get to listing and then get to management. I think the steps are very clear. And if someone gets through those steps clearly, then they're likely to do the business long term, as opposed to those people who get into the business and do it for a short time and then give up.
Do you offer classes?
Yes.
Consultation
yes,
classes?
Yeah. We offer end-to-end consultation classes.
So the answer, to simplify it, you have to come from a point of knowledge.
You have to come from a point of knowledge, know what the business offers, and then now start.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's it.
On the same referring to Eve's question, what would you advise a new upcoming someone who wants to go into Airbnb business? Should that person buy a property and lease it to be helped to manage it?
Yeah.
Or do you just start with yours from afresh, you buy, you furnish? Or do you host other guests? What is the best way to go about it in this place?
Okay, that's a good question. There are various ways you can get into the business. Number one, you could be the owner of an apartment or a furnished unit, or not furnished, of an empty space. You see what's happening right now? You have different investors, developers. There are developers who are coming up with 2-bedroom units, 3-bedroom units, 2-bedroom units. So I could purchase, as Ann Mwema, a 2-bedroom unit in an apartment. but I do not know how to go about it in terms of investing it to give me return on investments or income or monthly income or monthly revenue. Give it whatever terms you want to give it. Okay, that is a client. Okay, to us that's a client because they have a unit, they bought it, but they don't know how to go about it. Okay, there is also someone who has budget for setting up a unit. So in this case, they could either get a fully furnished unit that is already set up, okay, and then have a sale agreement and run the business as is from day one, or immediately they do the agreement. We could also have a different client who says, I prefer to furnish the unit on my own, give it my own aesthetics, my own colors, you know, my own interior design. So in this case, they would rent a unit, okay, from an owner or a developer, okay, and then as empty as it is, we start setting it up. They could seek our services for setup, or they could set it up on their own. So they set it up, put the furniture, put the fridge, put the kitchen items, the beds, put the decor, interior decor, the toilets and everything are in place. And then now we help them with the listing optimization, and then we also help them with the marketing. So there are various ways you can jump onto the industry. Now, a lot of our clients are actually owners, people who have bought the units and are running the units, and a lot of them are actually in diaspora who have no time to run the business. They are not in town, they are not in the country or in town, and they most of the time they would seek full management of the units. Then, but we do have clients who have rented out, leased spaces, as you have said, and we do also have clients who want to start from a studio that is already furnished, or one bedroom that is already furnished, because the hassle and the time to completely set that up is what they don't have.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are many ways you can jump into the industry and just dive in.
So you can help them set up, and also can hold their hands to the end.
Yes.
To simplify the process.
Yes, yes. Okay. We are, when it comes to consultation, we guarantee a hand-holding process.
Okay.
Because and I've said it many times, a lot of times when you get into this industry and you do not have anyone to handhold you into the business, then your chances of succeeding are not that much, because you need a lot of people in your pool, in your pipeline. You need agents, you need tours and travel companies, you need people to handhold you into the business. So we do that handholding because just to ensure that you're able to get even your first few customers and run the business smoothly on your own. Yeah, yeah.
How can I plan a romantic travel?
Okay, so when you book with Homes by Mwema, we work with the suppliers or vendors or different partners. We work with different partners. Let me call them partners. Because sometimes we are not able to do everything end to end, everything. So we work with partners to ensure that upon requests, we are able to plan romantic getaways. So if you're looking at booking this unit on Kinaruma Road and it's a surprise romantic getaway, you want to have flowers, rose flower petals, or you want to have bouquets, or you want to have wine, or you have to have different kind of surprises, then these partners are able to organize that for you. So when you get into the units, that is already something that's guaranteed. So another way we work with romantic surprises is if you want to do it on the move. So we have different guests who say, I want to book a Masai Mara or Nairobi National Park, but On transit, I would like to organize a romantic surprise. Again, the same partners we work with are able to organize such romantic surprises with them, and they're able to book to pay. Of course, it comes at an extra fee, but now they're able to work together and build that surprise, because it's very client specific and it differs based on location.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, to the next question. You know, we love our families,
Yeah.
and we'll also love to get away from our normal homes and routines. So, what should families prioritize when booking an Airbnb? Because the seasons are coming, holidays, people want to enjoy. So please, can you take us through the process?
Yeah. Actually, that's a good question. A lot of families are getting into a space where, a lot of families have been traveling together. Maybe it could be a nuclear family, whatever kind of family. So one thing you want to prioritize as you're booking as a family is security. You're traveling with your kids, or you're traveling with your wife or your husband and or your partner. So security is a priority, and this now does not even cater to families only, it's everyone. The second thing you want to look at is comfort. If you're traveling with kids, where are they sleeping? Is it a shared space? Because again, a lot of people would not be comfortable if the space is shared and families differ. There's no way you're going to, that's me, there's no way you're going to have my kids in a space where other families are, or other kids are. It has to be secluded, private, in a way that I am able to stay with my family because it's a vacation for my family. But you could mention the other facilities or amenities that are shared. Maybe the swimming pool is shared, maybe the gym is shared. Okay, so some of the things you have to highlight also in your descriptions, that these are shared amenities. And so that I'm able to make a decision as a mother or as a father or whoever is booking the places. Another thing that comes in handy for families would be when it comes to things like beds. Do you have double beds for the beds? Do you have beds in one, two beds in one room, twin beds in a room? Depends again on the size of the family that is booking. If you're having more kids coming on, tagging along to the vacation or the staycation, then you need to have extra beds, maybe extra mattresses that you can ask about, and mosquito nets. Depends on again where you're going. You're traveling with kids or even just yourself. Do you offer mosquito nets or repellents, something that is going to help them maximize on their comfort? Some of the things that you need to cater for or ask for as families. Again, you need to go over and beyond if you're booking for your family. For example, do you want to cook for yourselves, or do you need extra services like a chef? So if you ask these questions, the host that you're booking with should be able to give you a referral or refer someone as a chef, someone who can come cook for you guys as you guys relax, enjoy your holiday, and just be happy. So a chef would come in, cook for you guys morning meals or afternoon, and leave. Again, most Airbnb or most accommodation houses have certain timelines for cleaning, maybe 2 to 3 times a week. But as a family, based on how you're traveling, you could request for cleaning every single day. Yeah, because you have kids and you have your family, and you will not have time, and you don't want to start getting to a place where you're mopping and cleaning everything. You want to be comfortable. So these are things you can consider as you're booking for your family. Yeah, and I think there are many based on whoever. There are people who also book for their families who are also disabled, for example.
Yes.
And you need to know, can I have access with a wheelchair, stroller, something, or an elderly person? It could also be an elderly person. So the building that I am coming to, does it facilitate? Does it have a lift? An elevator, where now I can have my elderly person, my mother, my whatever, use the lift and access your building, because that is very important. You don't want to come to a place where you're struggling again and you paid for a staycation. So there are many factors you can put into consideration with families. Yeah.
Okay. Where do you see yourself in 3 years to come? Where do you want this business to scale you to?
Oh, okay. Now we are getting. I think that's a very good question, and I see Homes by Mwema in 5 years, where we are building. One, we are operating in different countries. We are not just operating in Kenya. Soon we are looking at people who are investing out of Africa. We are getting a lot of investors from Nigeria, from a lot of investors from South Africa. We are getting people who are asking us to set up their units in Uganda. So I'm very happy to I feel like it's a good thing for us to scale to those areas. We are also getting to a space where we are training a lot. So Homes by Mwema Academy is coming into place quite soon. This is where we see ourselves in the next 5 years, where we'll be training for hospitality, we'll be training cleaners, we'll be training agents, we'll be training property managers, people who are looking to scale their business and get to a next level with their hosting experiences or accommodation experiences. We appreciate where we're going, and I think we wouldn't have done it without the clients that we have at the moment. So yeah, we can't wait to scale with everyone else. That's what we are looking at in the next 5 years.
Oh,
or probably shorter.
Shorter.
Yeah.
2 years or so.
2 years or so. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I would also love to talk about the reviews. Reviews are very important because it is the experience the guest has had. So they'll have to write the reviews. How important are the reviews, and how will you make sure you have positive reviews over and over again?
Yes. Oh. Well, sometimes it's hard to really regulate reviews, because it's you're almost catering to very different niches of people, very different crowds, very different nationalities, very different personalities. It is very hard to maintain constantly. But there are things that have to remain constant. Your standard of hygiene, your standard of operation. And that is what has kept us having 4-star and 5-star reviews over time. Let me say that. We have a standard way of operating, and we dictate it from the word go. That way we attract our clientele, our niche. And if anyone is not comfortable with that, then they will not book with us. Okay? Our cleanliness has standards. We've standardized that across everywhere. They know how to set up the beds. They know how to set up the sitting or dinings or anything else that they are required to do. And then we have specific days of cleaning. And if anything more or less is required, then we tend to listen. We lean towards what guests would want. We follow the guest lead, and we talk about that in our listings all the time, that we follow the guest lead. That ensures that we maximize and optimize these 5-star reviews. And in the event we do not get a 5-star review, because we are human, then we are quick to mitigate that, and we are quick to respond to the clients and ensure that we apologize and we are able to understand where they come from, because people are different, and what works for you might not work for anyone else. Yeah. So reviews are very important. Another thing, what we always do is we ensure that we give the guest reviews, and then they give us the reviews, vice versa. Because again, the reviews is what keeps us going.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So we have automated systems where we seek the reviews from the clients, and once they review us, then we are able to keep up with the bookings.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that is something that has really worked for us.
What are some of the challenges that you have encountered? the major challenges?
The major challenges that we have encountered.
Yeah.
A lot. Leo mnataka kunieka hapa. Yeah, okay, sawa. So some of the major challenges we have encountered, of course, the challenges of people not following your rules and regulations.
Okay.
That is a major challenge. People hosting parties either without your knowledge, or it could have just slide behind your back and you didn't know how to go about it. That would be major. Destruction of property, because when you have people breaking your rules, like hosting a party, most likely they will break things. Glasses will be broken, wine glasses, plates, and things like that. So that is one of the biggest challenges we face. We have also experienced fights. People who fight in the property. They came in as a family, as one, but they ended up fighting. Things were broken and things like that. And we know how to mitigate that. I think now from experience we know. And a lot of people who you confront them with such things, they are very empathetic and they are very apologetic about it, and they reimburse you with the broken items, or they choose to exit or check out because the rules again were set prior and they did know about the rules and regulations. Okay. So that would be a challenge. Another challenge we've probably faced is, I mentioned earlier, is people who, we have guests that book and they do not know that it's not 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. Timing. So they book at 2 p.m. They expect to check out the next day at 2 p.m. So immediately they book, they are given check-in time and check-out time. And again, it's just explaining to someone, this is how it operates. And why does it operate like that? Because it's a system and someone else will be checking in the next day and cleaning has to take place. So it's just a matter of how you explain how things work. I think that for me would be more of guest-related challenges, but we also have system-related challenges where sometimes management could fail us. We've come across situations where maybe the pool is not maintained, it's dirty. And in your listing, you have mentioned that you have a pool and it's clean and ready to use. And that day, management is actually doing the cleaning and it's not in use. So that would be management-related challenges, and it happens. So you just get to speak to your guests or management first to fast track the situation or process and ensure you're able to have your clients using those amenities. It could be the gym that is not in order. It could be the sauna that's not in order, the steam bath. Those are some of the things that we've considered as challenges. And then management could also rapidly change the rules at the security entrance or check-in. So suddenly you hear that they want photos of the people who are coming in, or for IDs and passports. That is common, that is okay. I'm just giving a random example, but they sometimes come up with the rules, and before you incorporate that with your guests that are booking, we could have some sort of communication barrier. Yeah. So those are some of the challenges. I'll give you an example. We have one of the units here in Kilimani, where now you have to send your check-in details, or the fact that you are sending a client to the unit. You have to send those details to the security at the gate for them to know that there's a guest who's coming in. Yeah, you've seen that, yeah? Yes. So that is a challenge, and it's short-term challenge, because once you get into the system, because it's, like I said, it's you work in unity and it's a system. If you don't work with the security or the management, then they'll not work with you. So it's something that you have to keep working with people all the time.
Is business something you can do remotely?
Yes, management, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, any business you can actually, for Airbnb is one of the businesses that you can actually operate remotely without stress. Yeah, but there's some groundwork that has to be done first for you to maintain the work or the flow. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, as you wind up,
yes,
I would love you to correct the misconception about the Airbnbs. Yeah, so the here says Airbnbs, they are like this. There's no, okay, people like a lot of sexual perversions take place in Airbnbs. There's some just negative perception about it. So I would love you to tell us, now that you've been long in the business, what are some of the misconceptions or the hearsays about the Airbnbs? And I believe,
that is a very, very good question. Oh, we have a lot of misconceptions. I totally agree with your question. A lot of people would look at them as perverted areas, or people who book Airbnbs being perverts or sexually related scandals that have been happening on Airbnbs. While that is true and we cannot avoid that conversation, you can dictate the kind of people you host in your Airbnb. And a lot of people are getting into the Airbnb for investment purposes. You might not evade the aspect of sexuality or the people perverted or anything. You might not escape that. But you can be very specific with the people that you host. And as opposed to what people think, we have a lot of families that travel and use Airbnbs. We have a lot of tourists who come here for business that use Airbnbs. We have a lot of corporates, NGOs who book for their organizations, and they want to stay in comfortable places when other resources are expensive for them. Okay, we have a lot of people who come together to have bridal parties and showers. We have a lot of people who book the units because of wanting to spend time as a family. December, August, April, any other time of the month. We have a lot of charmers and business meetings that take place in Airbnbs. But just like any other industries, a lot of people want to dwell on the negative and not focus on the positive. There's one thing you can do when you want to regulate the people that are booking with you. You can choose to tie your calendar to a minimum night's stay. And we've done that with a lot of our units. The Parklands unit, for example, is a minimum. You cannot book it if you're not staying for 2 nights and above, because we are regulating it to people who are coming for certain things. We don't want you to host a party for 1 night, for example. Okay, so we are limiting that. While we could catch people who are coming for 1 night and it's business, we are okay with that kind of a loss, because the people we want to host are people who are coming for other things. 2 nights, 3 nights, 1 week, 2 months, and being in Parklands, maybe you're dealing with someone in hospital at Aga Khan, maybe you're dealing with someone in hospital at Tempisha, maybe you've come for business, maybe you're actually coming for leisure, and you need more time or travel. Okay, so you can limit that. You can be very specific with the people that you host. Another way you can counter check that is asking them why they are booking, or what is the reason, like they're staying there for what reason. You ask. It's as simple as it is. Are you booking because what kind of people are you coming with? Is it your family? Are you coming with kids? And these questions you ask them very smoothly, even during their their inquiries on the app. They wouldn't know why you're asking, but it's very important that you would know and have these details, and you can choose to accept their inquiries or not. So we are very specific in the kind of clientele that we are looking for, and hopefully we can continue like that and have people who are investing, who are booking for the rights, and sometimes there isn't really a right reason or a wrong reason, because even a romantic getaway is the right reason for someone else.
True.
Yeah. And you never know how things would go from their end as they're booking. So it's a daily conversation that we get to have, and it's something that we can definitely improve every day.
True.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your questions. Leo mumeniweka kwa limelight. I think thank you so much for joining us. Thank you everyone, for the audience, for listening to these lovely questions being asked by our lovely ladies over here. And I hope you get to learn something or pick something from it, whether you're an investor, whether you are looking to invest in the future, or whether you're learning or coming up with strategies of starting the business, or whether you're a guest or just looking to book with us. Today we are shooting at Kindaruma Homes. This is a 2-bedroom unit, and it is available for booking. It goes for 10,000 per night, and you can feel free to book it anytime, either from either of our platforms, or you can just DM us and we'll be able to reserve the unit for you. Asante sana. See you on the next channel. Bye.
Hey.